Welcome to Peptide-proof, your source for rigorous, independent, evidence-based peptide intelligence. Are peptides officially going mainstream in skincare? To answer that, we're skipping the hype and looking straight at the mass market signals and clinical trajectories. We're actually seeing a massive shift right now. Peptides are crossing the chasm from niche, specialty ingredients into everyday, mass market staples. So let's dig into the data and see exactly what's happening.
Section 1. The Retail Signal. Take a look at this. Boots UK just fundamentally restructured their skincare aisles. And we're talking about a massive 40% expansion of dedicated peptide shelf space across 600 stores. That's definitely not just a minor restock. They've actually built a newly branded Peptide Plus section, dropped in 12 new brands, and added 45 new SKUs to the mix. Plus, to make sure it actually sells, they went ahead and trained 2,000 beauty advisors specifically on peptide science.
Now, a major retailer doesn't just completely overhaul their physical shelf space without hard data to back it up, right? This massive physical rollout actually follows a 67% year-over-year spike in peptide-related searches directly on Boots.com.
And when we look inside that search surge, the consumer intent is really fascinating. We've got a 124% spike just for the phrase peptide serum for sensitive skin. Trailing right behind that, searches for copper peptide moisturizer are up 89%, and arginine eye cream is up 73%. So consumers aren't just broadly searching for anti-aging anymore. They know exactly which ingredient they want.
Section 2. Global demand trajectory. Zooming out a bit, the projected global peptide skincare market is on track to hit $10.2 billion by 2028. That's an 11.3% compound annual growth rate. And we're seeing this momentum everywhere. Over in the US, Ulta Beauty added 30 new peptide SKUs in just the single quarter. In China, Tmall's peptide category surged 92% year over year. The global trajectory here is pretty much locked in.
Beyond the headlines.
Into the research. Peptide-proof.
Section 3. Speed of adoption. Historically, powerhouse ingredients took years to trickle down from the dermatologist's office to the drugstore aisle. Vitamin C took about 8 years to make that jump. Retinol took around 7. But peptides, they're moving at a breakneck 4 to 5 year cycle. This traditional timeline has literally been cut in half, and it's being driven entirely by highly engaged communities on platforms like TikTok and Reddit who are demanding clinical-grade actives at mass-market prices. To capture this hyper-accelerated demand, retailers are deploying a really smart two-track strategy. Track 1 is what we call the Peptide Essential tier. Priced under £35, this targets the mass market with single peptides and very simple, straightforward claims. Then you have Track 2, Peptide Science. Running up to £85, this targets the clinical consumer, the skin intellectuals, with complex multi-peptide blends, advanced delivery systems, and heavy clinical backing.
Section 4. Architecture and Alternatives. Now, from a scientific standpoint, it's crucial to understand that peptides in skincare are not just one big monolith. They are actually classified by their specific functional architecture and exactly how they interact with your cells. Basically, there are 3 main architectures dominating these new retail shelves. First, we have signal peptides, like matrixyl. These act as cellular messengers, literally telling your skin to build new collagen and elastin. Second are carrier peptides, like copper peptides. These physically deliver essential trace minerals deep into your cells to promote healing. And finally, neurotransmitter inhibitors, like argireline. These partially block receptors to physically relax your expression muscles, which gives you that famous Botox in a bottle effect.
So, you might be wondering, why was there that massive 124% search surge specifically for sensitive skin? Well, 2 words: retinol intolerance. The highest growth segment here is being driven by people who want the results of retinoids, but without the damaged skin barrier. Signal peptides stimulate that same collagen production, but without triggering the inflammatory cascade. It's essentially all the gain without the pain.
Section 5. The Formulation Hurdle.
But before you rush out to buy, you should know that formulating effective peptide skincare isn't as simple as just dumping the ingredient into a jar. Formulators are constantly battling a core technical challenge known in the industry as the 500 Dalton rule.
Here's what that actually means for your face. The rule dictates that any molecule larger than 500 Daltons simply cannot penetrate the human skin barrier on its own. The problem? Most anti-aging peptides are naturally too large to get through. If they just sit on top of your skin, they do absolutely nothing. This means formulators have to spend big money on sophisticated delivery systems like encapsulation just to ensure these ingredients actually reach the dermal layers where they can do their job.
So as this market rapidly scales to $10 billion, the real question becomes, are consumers buying actual cellular change, or just highly marketed molecules trapped on the surface of their skin? That's all for this episode. Comment peptide, and I'll send you the full report. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.